All right, the weather is crap, and so we're in the living room / kitchen today, just working on the Arduino and the Arduino board, the solenoids and relays, and we'll take a quick look at the program, stolen or cut and pasted from OXIKIT. They have some great videos. I'll put a link in the description for them if you are interested. And we'll take a quick look at the program, which I've slightly modified and added to, but the timing will probably have to be modified because the sieve beds are so much larger, and you can get a good look at sort of what we've done here and what you can do for pretty cheap. It's not too complicated. Once you get into it, it's pretty interesting. So let's take a look at what we got. All right, here you can see the basic setup, and we are just going to turn it on and get the valves ticking. It'll go through its startup sequence, and I'll just explain what's going on here. We have the main power going into the transformer, which takes it to 5 volts DC, which powers the Arduino board, and it powers these relays. Some of these relays I have tapped out into these relays, because these relays you can remove and replace should something go wrong or they wear out. And these relays are soldered into the board, so I kind of want to protect them. And these are just tap outs. These relays control these relays. These relays control the solenoid valves, as you can see. This power goes to a 12 volt transformer, takes it to DC, which runs the oxygen flow and the percentage of how pure your oxygen is. And one of the relays runs the hour meter, so we can see how many hours are on it. This relay, it's important that it is not pilot operated because the pressure will be coming from both sides. These ones, they are pilot operated, but the pressure is always coming into the pressure port, and those will be operating the actual sieve beds. So it's not too complicated, really, when you look at it. We'll take a quick look at the code, which is really operating the timing of these 3 relays. These are just turned on at the start, and one of them is going to be running a fan for the cooling of the air coming in, and the transformer, and then another one runs for the hour meter. All right, so let's take a look at the OXIKIT information. If you go to their website, OXIKIT, they will have the Arduino code. You can download it, and you literally cut and paste it, and then you can add whatever you like to it. We'll take a look at that in a second. The documentation they have for their system, the schematics of the pneumatics, and all the information and how they did it, which is not a lot different. It's just a bit smaller. And the people that did all the hard work to do this for us are here. And I guess we can thank COVID for that. They also give all the information you would need to build it if you wish to build it the same way they have it. But it makes it really simple. And if we go over, this fellow here, Mr. Danger, is the guy that wrote the code, from what I can see, or that's the code I'm using. So let's take a look at that. If we pull up the code, there he is there. And I have butchered it and modified it, and I'll have to modify it more later. And this is basically the code you use for the Arduino. It is confusing for people who haven't used it before, and I am terrible with it. But there's your startup sequence. There's your setting your pin modes, what your time delays. So you can modify your time delays, which obviously we'll be having to do, and your flows and your pressures. So that'll all make a difference. And as long as you have a readout to tell you what kind of oxygen percentage you're getting out, and you also have flow control so you know the volume you're getting out, you can probably really dial this in. And there's your digital writes and tells you which relays. There's your startup purges. There's your fan. Now I added these to start up the hour meter and the oxygen sensor. And there's your loop for your digital writes for your purges on your sieves. And then it just cycles through a loop and goes back to the beginning after it's done after it's gone through all the things. It's not super complicated. And if you follow his advice on how to do all the pinouts on the Arduino, he's a lot better at it than I am, and he'll get you through it. So, and then you can modify it. I mean, that's really the big thing with going with the Arduino is it's you can come back up here and you can change all your delays, which should change really how everything works. And then if you want to build a huge one and put bigger valves on and change the flows and pressures, you can modify this, and that'll make it all work, I hope. So just a quick little addition. I thought of different ways of doing the timing, and I ended up going with the Arduino just for the fact that the sieve beds are so much bigger than the ones that they had created, and I think the timing and the ability to play with Arduino was something I wanted to do. But if that seems like more than you want to take on, there is other ways, and you can see on Wikipedia. I thought about going with this, with a cam timer, and you could build it yourself with a small gearbox and make the cams hit the limit switches, and that would set the time delays and the times for each relay that would activate the solenoid valves. So that was one way of doing it. The other way to do it was I was thought about going with this on AliExpress. It seemed pretty reasonable. If you had a few of these, one that turned on the other two, and then those, or three, and those ones would operate a valve for a set amount of time, which you could set, and then the delay, and then the other one would go on and it would do its function for its solenoid valve, and it would shut off, and then maybe the first one shuts them all back off and starts the whole function over again. So I think you could achieve the same thing basically using these timing relays. But just another thought, different way of doing it if you don't want to get into the Arduino. And I think really this would have achieved the same goal and been just as adjustable. So that's what I have for you today. Have a great weekend. Bye.